Montgomery Clift. Montgomery Clift was one of Hollywood's most talented and mysterious actors, known for his intense performances and brooding charm. Born in 1920, he rose to fame in the 1940s and 50s with films like A Place in the Sun, 1951, and From Here to Eternity, 1953. Unlike many actors of his time, Clift was methodical, deeply emotional, and selective with his roles, earning 4 Academy Award nominations. But behind the camera, his life was filled with inner turmoil. Clift struggled with his sexuality, addiction, and depression, leading to reckless behavior. His life took a devastating turn in 1956, when he was in a horrific car accident after leaving Elizabeth Taylor's home. His face was severely disfigured, requiring extensive surgeries. Though he continued acting, his career and mental health deteriorated. He turned to alcohol and painkillers, becoming a shadow of his former self. Hollywood, once fascinated by his talent, slowly abandoned him. By the late 1960s, he was living in isolation, battling personal demons. On July 23, 1966, at just 45 years old, Clift was found dead in his apartment from a heart attack, a tragic end to a once brilliant but tortured star. His story remains one of Hollywood's greatest heartbreaks. Sharon Tate. Sharon Tate was a rising Hollywood star, known for her beauty, talent, and promising career. Born in 1943, she began as a model before landing roles in films like Valley of the Dolls, 1967, which earned her a Golden Globe nomination. She was married to Roman Polanski, one of Hollywood's most acclaimed directors, and they seemed to have the perfect life. But fate had other plans. On the night of August 8, 1969, Sharon, who was 8 months pregnant, was at her Los Angeles home with friends. Roman Polanski was away in Europe. That night, members of the Manson family cult, led by Charles Manson, broke into the house. What followed was one of the most brutal murders in Hollywood history. Tate and her friends were mercilessly killed, with Sharon begging for the life of her unborn child. The crime shocked the world, marking the end of Hollywood's golden era. Manson and his followers were later arrested and sentenced to life in prison. Sharon Tate's death became a symbol of lost innocence in Hollywood. Despite her short career, she is remembered for her beauty, kindness, and the tragic fate that cut her life short at just 26 years old. River Phoenix. Los Angeles, October 31, 1993. The Viper Room was buzzing with music, celebrities, and a night of endless possibilities. Among the crowd was River Phoenix, a young star with the world at his feet. But as the night deepened, something felt off. River, known for his natural charisma and talent, began sweating profusely, his movements uneasy. He stumbled outside, where his younger brother, Joaquin Phoenix, desperately called 911. "He's having seizures." Joaquin's voice trembled over the phone. But by the time paramedics arrived, River lay motionless on the pavement. The diagnosis? A fatal overdose, a mix of heroin and cocaine. Yet, questions remain. How did a clean-cut, anti-drug activist fall into this deadly spiral? Friends later admitted he had been pressured into harder substances, but was it really just a tragic accident? Or was there something more? Hollywood mourned, but the eerie silence surrounding his death lingers. Some say he was taken too soon, others whisper darker possibilities. His final moments, played out on that cold pavement, remain a chilling reminder that even the brightest stars can burn out too soon. But was River Phoenix truly in control of his fate, or was he another victim of Hollywood's silent darkness? Brittany Murphy. Brittany Murphy was the girl next door, charming, talented, and full of life. But in December 2009, her vibrant world shattered. She collapsed in her bathroom, struggling to breathe. Paramedics rushed her to the hospital, but within hours, she was pronounced dead. The cause? Pneumonia, anemia, and a mix of prescription drugs. A tragic accident, they said. But then the unthinkable happened. Just 5 months later, her husband, Simon Monjack, died under eerily similar circumstances. The same house, the same symptoms, the same strange ending. Whispers spread. Some claimed toxic mold in their Hollywood Hills home poisoned them. Others believed in something more sinister. Brittany's father later demanded a second autopsy, claiming his daughter had been poisoned with heavy metals. But no definitive answers ever surfaced. Why did her mother refuse deeper investigations? Why did Brittany look so frail in her final days? Was it Hollywood's relentless pressure, a tragic health issue, or something far more insidious? To this day, her sudden demise feels like an unfinished script, a chilling, unanswered question that still haunts Hollywood. Brittany Murphy was full of light, yet her death remains one of Tinseltown's darkest mysteries. Heath Ledger. Why so serious? Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker was so disturbingly brilliant that it felt real. Some say it became too real. On January 22, 2008, Heath was found lifeless in his Manhattan apartment. Pills scattered nearby. Officially, it was ruled an accidental overdose, prescription medications meant to ease his insomnia and anxiety. But was it really that simple? Ledger's close friends admitted he had been struggling. The dark night had consumed him. He locked himself in a hotel room for weeks, writing in a disturbing diary, immersing himself in the Joker's chaotic mind. Some believed he had fallen too deep into the role, losing himself to the madness. But was it the Joker who destroyed him? Or was it something else? Heath had spoken about the pressures of Hollywood, the insomnia that tortured him, the expectations that weighed him down. Perhaps it was all too much. His performance became legendary, earning him a posthumous Oscar. But behind that twisted smile was a man who had silently suffered, lost in the very darkness he portrayed. Did Heath Ledger accidentally overdose, or did he become the Joker in more ways than we'll ever know? Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was a symbol of strength, speed, and power, a man who seemed untouchable. But on July 20th, 1973, the dragon fell. A young, healthy 32-year-old, Bruce complained of a headache, took a simple painkiller, and lay down to rest. Hours later, he was dead. The official cause? A cerebral edema, brain swelling. But how? Bruce was in peak physical condition. His diet was strict, his training relentless. Rumors ignited immediately. Some claimed it was Dim Mak, the legendary touch of death, strike used by martial arts rivals. Others whispered about a secret assassination. He had angered the wrong people in Hong Kong. Then, there was the curse of the dragon. Some believed Bruce was doomed by a supernatural force. His sudden death was chilling, but what happened next was even more eerie. 20 years later, his son, Brandon Lee, also died mysteriously on a movie set, reinforcing the idea of an inescapable family curse. Was Bruce Lee's death a medical anomaly, a planned execution, or something beyond explanation? One thing is certain, his legacy lives on, but his final moments remain an unsolved enigma. Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee was destined for greatness, stepping out of his father Bruce Lee's shadow to carve his own legacy. But fate had other plans. In 1993, while filming The Crow, Brandon was filming a simple scene, his character, Eric Draven, shot by thugs. The gun, supposed to fire blanks, discharged a real bullet. He collapsed. The crew laughed at first, thinking he was acting. Then panic set in. Rushed to the hospital, Brandon underwent 6 hours of surgery, but it was too late. He was 28. How could this happen? Investigators discovered a deadly mistake. A real bullet fragment had been left in the barrel from an earlier scene. A freak accident, they said. But skeptics weren't convinced. The Lee family curse resurfaced. Bruce Lee had died mysteriously at 32, and now his son was gone under bizarre circumstances. Some whispered about Hollywood's dark forces, others about deliberate sabotage. The production had been plagued with eerie incidents, crew members injured, strange accidents on set. Brandon's death was ruled an accident, but the questions never faded. Was it negligence, bad luck, or something far more sinister? The Crow became a cult classic, but watching it feels unsettling, because its hero never lived to see it. Anna Nicole Smith. Anna Nicole Smith lived a life that felt like a Hollywood movie, glamorous, chaotic, and ultimately tragic. She rose from a small-town girl to a global icon, marrying billionaire J. Howard Marshall, a man 63 years her senior. Some called it love. Others called it a scheme. But after his death, a bitter legal battle over his fortune began. Then, heartbreak struck. Her beloved son, Daniel, died mysteriously in 2006, just days after her daughter was born. The grief was unbearable. Less than 5 months later, Anna was found unresponsive in her hotel room. The cause? A lethal cocktail of prescription drugs. Some called it an overdose. Others believed she had simply given up on life. But was it just personal demons, or was someone pulling the strings? Her lawyer, Howard K. Stern, had been controlling her life, her finances, and even her medication. Many questioned his involvement, but no one was ever charged. Was Anna Nicole Smith a tragic victim of fame, or was her life carefully orchestrated by those around her? Even in death, her story remains a cautionary tale of beauty, power, and the dark side of Hollywood. On the untold mysteries of Hollywood, the secrets, the tragedies, the unanswered questions. Each story leaves behind a shadow of doubt, reminding us that behind the glitz and glamour, the truth is often far more haunting. Thelma Todd. Thelma Todd was a Hollywood starlet of the 1920s and 1930s, known for her charm, comedic talent, and beauty. She starred in over 120 films, working with legends like the Marx Brothers and Laurel and Hardy. But despite her rising success, her life ended in a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. On December 16, 1935, Thelma was found dead in her car, parked inside her garage in Los Angeles. She was only 29 years old. The official cause of death was carbon monoxide poisoning, and authorities ruled it as an accident or suicide. However, many believe she was murdered. Todd was involved with dangerous people, including her ex-lover, Roland West, a nightclub owner, and possibly mobsters. She had received threats before her death and was last seen at a party, seemingly in good spirits. Suspicious details, like bruises on her body and her locked garage, raised questions. Did someone force her into that car? Was it a cover-up? Despite endless speculation, her case was never reopened, and the truth remains buried with her. Thelma Todd's death is one of Hollywood's greatest mysteries, and she is still remembered as the ice cream blonde, a star whose light was extinguished far too soon. 14. Jean Harlow. Jean Harlow was Hollywood's original blonde bombshell, a dazzling star of the 1930s known for her beauty, wit, and magnetic screen presence. She became an icon with films like Hell's Angels, Red Dust, and Dinner at 8. Despite her glamorous image, her life was marked by tragedy, heartbreak, and a mysterious early death. At just 26 years old, Jean Harlow died suddenly on June 7, 1937. The official cause was kidney failure, but speculation surrounded her death. Some believed it was the result of untreated scarlet fever from childhood, while others suspected mistreatment and neglect. At the time, medicine was limited, and there were rumors that her mother, a believer in Christian Science, refused medical help. Harlow's personal life was also filled with sorrow. Her husband, Paul Byrne, mysteriously committed suicide, leaving behind cryptic notes. Some even whispered about Hollywood cover-ups and hidden scandals. Her last film, Saratoga, was left incomplete, and a body double was used to finish her scenes. Jean Harlow's untimely death stunned the world, and she remains an enduring legend of classic cinema. Though she lived a short life, her influence on Hollywood's golden era remains unforgettable. Spencer Tracy was one of Hollywood's greatest actors, known for his natural acting style and intense performances. With classics like Captain's Courageous, Boys Town, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, he won 2 Academy Awards and left a lasting mark on cinema. However, behind his success was a man struggling with inner demons. Tracy battled lifelong alcoholism and deep personal conflicts. Despite being married to Louise Tracy, he had a long-term love affair with actress Katharine Hepburn. Their romance lasted over 25 years, but Tracy, a devout Catholic, never divorced his wife. This complex love triangle was one of Hollywood's most famous secrets. His drinking and declining health took a toll on his career. By the 1960s, he was weak and frail, but he pushed himself to complete Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, his final film. Just 17 days after filming ended, on June 10, 1967, Tracy suffered a fatal heart attack. His death devastated Katharine Hepburn, who never watched their last movie together. Spencer Tracy's legacy lives on, not just as a Hollywood icon, but as a man whose talent, struggles, and forbidden love story continue to captivate audiences even today. Spencer Tracy's story is one of brilliance, struggle, and timeless legacy. Behind the Hollywood spotlight lay deep battles, yet his talent remains unforgettable. Was he a legend, a tragic figure, or both? Let us know in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe for more hidden Hollywood stories. Stay curious, more mysteries await.